we unfortunately lost KVK. Now, this I don't think was really winnable in my eyes, the entire KVK. If you guys didn't know, we were facing a 3v1. So what that means is that it was our camp on the top side versus the 3 other camps in this KVK. So the right camp here and the left camp, we fought in zone 5. We won both of the zone 5s, but the bottom camp did not fight at all until Kingsland. Now they chose to be there because I believe they took 3rd place in pre-KVK, and so they chose not to fight us and wait until Kingsland. Originally I was like, man, that would really suck to be stuck on the bottom, but they actually chose to be there. They apparently wanted to wait until Kingsland to fight, but then didn't really get a whole lot of fighting. So I'm not really sure how that's gonna, work with the Zig. I would say, in my opinion, I don't know what the stats are. I have no clue right now. But in my opinion, I think the right side, the right camp, deserves a Zig probably the most because they had, in my opinion, had the best fighting in the entire KVK. Obviously they fought us in zone 5. They're pretty strong in zone 5 as well. Obviously, eventually we're able to push them out of zone 5 and take that relatively quickly. But they gave a pretty good fight. And so I believe 2902, I believe. They are the 2nd strongest kingdom in this KVK, which they're in this camp. So it makes sense that, obviously they're going to be the hardest opponents for us. But let's go over some stats in this KVK and just kind of take a look at how we finished off and what everything is looking like. So in terms of honor, I have not pushed honor at all. I did a little bit of chaining at the beginning of KVK, but as you can see, I'm at 97,000 honor. I did miss a couple of runes as well. Like I said, I've not been chaining. I do need to start doing that. At the end of this KVK, we got another 2 weeks. So I don't care about honor, but just getting some value from barb chaining would be huge. Looking at honor roll for coalition, we are in 4th place. For camp, we are in 3rd place. So probably not going to rank very well there. But we are also severely outnumbered in terms of just kingdoms. There's just more players in those other camps and those other coalitions. So it makes sense. Now looking at the individual stats here, I really like looking at this. I'll probably make another video in the future about the overall stats from the entire KVK when we get that information. That won't be available, I think, for another 2 weeks though. So that video will come probably in May. But taking a look here at kill points, we got 344 million of these points. Now the way this breaks down is severely wounding 1 T4 unit gives you 1 point, and severely wounding or killing 1 T5 unit gives you 5 points. So obviously the more points, the better. So I had 344 million points in terms of kill points. I'll kind of show you guys let's go like top 20. I'll just slowly scroll through here so you guys can see what these stats look like. We have some pretty insane fighters in this KVK. Now looking at dead points, let me show you first what my Hall of Heroes looks like. 1.8 million deads, mostly T5. I did have some T4 from either fielding with the stats or the stratagem. Which one is it? It is the do or die. So I took 547,000 deaths from do or die. So you deal 10% more damage, but 2% of your sev wounds come as deaths. So you can see quite a bit of deaths there that I took just from that skill alone. So some of those T4, and then these are just from when my city was swarmed and rallied as well. I took some deads there, but pretty much all T5. Now let's take a look at that expedition. So death points, I finished at 146, so 8.8 million points here for dead points. Now same thing here, losing 1 T4 is 1 point, and then 1 T5 is 5 points. And you can see Makot, absolutely insane this KVK. Let's actually take a look at what his power is right now. I believe he was 750 million at the beginning of KVK, so he dropped about 320 million power, give or take, which is just insane. He is such a team player. He is absolutely phenomenal, guys. He is fantastic. Then looking at heal points, I finished rank 103 with 243 million points. So the thing I like to look at is kill points versus heal points, and that kind of shows you how you traded. So like for example, for me, I finished 344 million to 243 million. You look at Makot, he finished with 1.85 billion to 1.06 billion. So let's take a look at what my trade actually looked like. So the way you do this math is actually take your kill points. So I take 344 million of these points, and then I divide that by my heal points. So then divide that by 243 million, and that gives me a 1.416 trade. So that means on average, I was trading about 140%, which I'm pretty happy with. If I see a report that's 140%, I'm like, okay, that was a decent report. Obviously, it's not like a 200, 300, 400%, but that's a good report. It's better than even. So that's essentially what you want to see here, is have more kill points than you have heal points. And you can see, like, obviously with Makot, 1.8 billion points here is insane. And you look at the heal points, still insane, but really, really good trades there. Same with the DZZ. Like, DZZ was just an absolute beast this KVK, especially in Zone 5. They were online pretty much 24/7. So some pretty good stats there. I'll kind of show you guys the overall stats for the top 20 again here. I don't remember if I showed that for the deaths, so I'll show that too. So if we go over here to the deaths, 1846 really representing, you know, obviously we are the strongest kingdom, so it would make sense that we have most of the top stats here in these leaderboards, because that's just what you would expect. And then in terms of the leaderboards, you do get some autarchs. So that's pretty nice for those people that are in the top ranks. I obviously am not, but for the people that are, that's pretty nice. Now let's take a look at the overall stats here. Alliance power, we are rank 1, 14.5 billion power. Now obviously people are moved around, so this isn't exactly accurate throughout KVK. You really see it mostly at the beginning. At the very, very end is when everyone's kind of in the same spot, because they're not moving around for bastions or anything like that. So that's kind of what it looks like right now. Same with alliance kills, same thing. We are at 2 trillion, which is crazy. That's really, really nice. Well, individual power and individual kills, it's kind of where you really want to look. So individual power, I'm sitting at 82 million power. I do have some troops in my hospital that are still healing. Have pretty much a full hospital T5 right now, so those are all healing. Makot, 436 million power. He dropped, like I said, over 320 million power this KVK. Insane. I'm sure he'll push for Zenith here as well. But I'll show you guys the top 20 just so you can see where everyone's finishing up in terms of power. 131 million is rank 20. And then taking a look at the individual kills, I'm rank 158. I finished just below my goal, guys. I wanted to hit 10 billion kill points so bad, and we came so close. 9.9 billion kill points. I believe I finished with like 1.4 billion kill points, give or take. I'll probably have that number in a future video for the exact stats I have on everything. I'll go over all my commanders, everything like that. But Makot sitting at almost 68 billion, and then we have Turkish Kebab just under 70 billion kill points. Some pretty crazy fighters here in 1846. DZZ, like I said, is an absolute beast. They went off this KVK. Again, I'll show the top 20. Sitting at 158, I'm pretty happy with that. I'll have to see what I'm at when I get back to 1846 in terms of just, you know, where I'm at in terms of the kingdom. I guess I could take a look at here if I go ahead and go off of kill points. This will kind of show me. So rank 90 is where I rank amongst WIB, but there are going to be some people in here from, you know, other kingdoms that are in our camp that are just sitting in 1846's WIB right now. So overall, this was a fun KVK. You know, we did lose, but I thought it was a lot of fun. You know, I think there was probably a better way to set this up rather than a 3v1, but I've heard a lot of conflicting things with the, you know, actual planning of the coordination of where this KVK was going at the very beginning for matchmaking. So, you know, some people were saying that 1846 wanted the 3v1. Some people were saying everyone else wanted the 3v1. I really have no clue. I'm not involved in that whatsoever, so I just kind of do whatever everyone says. But, you know, overall, I think the 3v1, there was really very, very, very little chance that we could have won. I think the only way we could have won is if one of these camps didn't really show up. In terms of just, you know, if they were like, oh, well, you know, it's not that big of a deal if we fight our full strength. But they all came to play. These camps all played very, very well. I did live stream in Kingsland, and they had some pretty crazy field presence. So I want to give some huge props to the other camps in this KVK. You guys did awesome. You know, you definitely held your ground against a very good kingdom in 1846. We did trade well, but we ultimately lost. So you guys get the GGs. You guys did great. I respect every single kingdom in here. I think it's been a fun KVK. I'm excited for the next one. Let's take a look at my resources though, because that's kind of an issue. If we take a look here, I spent just over 30 billion resources once again this KVK. You can take a look at the distribution here. 6.2 billion gold hurts to look at so much. I honestly feel like I might need to have some T4 in my next KVK if I'm going to keep on, having 6 marches. That's going to be insanely expensive. I did go through about 150,000 of these, went through about 100,000 of these guys, and then I actually had to start digging into my gold. I think I spent a little over 1 billion gold from my items, so that is definitely not ideal. I definitely did not want to have to do that, but I did. So this off season, I know I do not need to gather wood whatsoever. I don't need to. I have 4.7 billion wood right now. On every single farm account, I'm not gathering wood. I'm only gathering food and gold pretty much. Those are the only two I really need because I have plenty of stone right now. I have plenty in the bag. I need food and I need gold. So gold is definitely going to be a top priority. If we take a look at speed ups, I was at just over 2100. I think 2150 is where I was at, give or take, in terms of my universals. I'm sitting at 1632. So I spent about 500 days, maybe a little bit more, 550 days of speed ups, just because you get some throughout KVK too, or throughout that fight. But I spent about 550 days of speed ups throughout Kingsland. Like I said, I will showcase my commanders, kill by commanders. I did end up doing a lot of city popping in Kingsland because I had the murder ball just sitting right around my city for a lot of the times. So my Luce and Alex is going to be off the charts. I can promise you that. Some people give you crap for city popping, but like if you're going to be sitting around my city and you don't expect to be hit, I don't know what game you're playing, but this is a war game where you don't just crowd a city and expect them not to hit you. Like I'm not going to stand around a city and then get mad if they city pop me because I'm standing by their city. That's just not a smart thing to do. So if you're able to do it, you should do it. Although they did kind of patch it pretty good. Let me show you guys what I mean. So if I take out my troops, if I'm the enemy and this is my city, for example, and I'm just standing around my city, what people are doing now, and this is what you should be doing, is attack marching. Is just going like this. And now if I city pop any of these marches, all 4 of my marchers are going to turn and start attacking me back. So they're just going like this, just around the city. And, if you're marching like across the map, like don't just do a regular march, do an attack march, because that way if someone hits you, all of your marches are going to start attacking that march. It's exactly what you should be doing. Anytime you're marching on the map, do attack march. So that way you don't get screwed. Unless you are fighting me, then don't do that. But any other time, make sure you're using attack march because it is very, very helpful, especially if you're around cities, because people will city pop you if they have the opportunity because it's just smart. That's a smart way to play the game. Yes, it's stupid. Yes, it's tacky, but it is a smart thing to do in terms of just weakening the enemy because you're a fresh march every single time and they're bringing less troops to the murder ball fight. So if you have the opportunity to do it, you should do it. You're stupid if you don't. And if you get mad at somebody for city popping, like that's on you. If you were in a situation where you let them do that, that is 100% on you. But if you guys enjoyed the video today, do me a favor, drop a like and subscribe. Again, huge props to all the other kingdoms in this KVK. This is a fun one. I'm excited for the next one. Hopefully, I'll have some time to recover before we go into another big fight. Hopefully, the next one we'll have is a little bit more fair as well, and just in terms of the teaming. I think if it was a 2v2, yes, it would be a lot more fair than the 3v1, but ultimately, I don't think there was a fair 50-50 2v2 situation just because 1846 is too strong. And before you guys say like, oh, you guys dodged 1188, I wanted to fight 1188 because 1846 has a very good track record against them. I think it would have been a lot more fun. I think that other KVK mode looked a lot more fun than this KVK mode. I don't absolutely love King of All Britain, mainly because it's just so tedious doing the home gang every single day because I don't trust other people to do it. So I am always the team captain because the one time I wasn't, they never attacked. And I was like, okay, I'm just getting screwed out of all these coins every single day just because I'm not the captain. And so now I'm forced to attack every single day right before reset. And just another thing to be like, oh no, I need to log on right now so I can go attack. I don't like that. I don't want that to be part of my every single day playing the game. But again, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like and subscribe. Comment down below what you guys think about this KVK and what you want to see in the future. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys later.